just physical, mental, spiritual. Zealous Wellness with Mike Hollis.
Hey, welcome back to another episode of Zealous Wellness. I know I was gone for a little while. We had some things that I was off up in Washington State visiting family, and then we had some stuff, programming things that we were going to do the next Monday when I got back. So that was delayed to just one more week, of course. But here we are, we're back, and just kind of talking a little bit about where I have been. I have been, like I said, up in Washington State. That's where I grew up. I was born in Kellogg, Idaho. So I've got family in both Spokane, Washington and Kellogg, Idaho, and some surrounding areas, maybe a little bit in Oregon and so forth. But I usually go up in the summertime and, because of course I'm a big baby when it comes to cold weather. So I typically, I'm here in Jacksonville and in the area of Florida for most of the year. And I'll go up, visit for a couple of weeks up in Washington State. But this year was a little different. My girlfriend, it was in Hawaii. So she made this trip where she'd go take her kids to Hawaii for a week or so, and then go from Hawaii up to Alaska. So it was right around the time that I was going to be up in Washington State. So we made a kind of a meetup trip out of it. So I met her from Spokane. I flew over in the morning on the 4th of July to Alaska. And then to Seattle. And then she flew from Hawaii to Seattle. We met in Seattle. We flew up together on the same flight up to Alaska and spent 6 days up there, and rented an RV and went around a bunch of different really cool places just to camp and hang out with some friends of hers. And wow, what an amazing trip. I highly recommend it as a bucket list trip that you should do. Definitely something you probably never, especially if you're from the south, never really seen mountains or snow or wildlife like you'd see there. It's an incredible opportunity. Fish is abundant. Salmon is everywhere. The scenery is amazing. Hiking's awesome. We see glaciers. We see all kinds of cool things in nature. In nature, we see moose, bear. I didn't see any bear this time, but very, very cool opportunity. Caught lots of fish, halibut, salmon, you name it, rockfish, and more salmon. So definitely one of the things that I was going to bring up and talk about today was the fact that, when you're gone on vacation, what happens to your diet and what happens to your exercise. And of course, I wasn't as good as I planned on being as far as this trip. I tried to stay. I mean, we were busy. Don't get me wrong. I was, it was 4 hours difference between Alaska and Jacksonville, Florida. And I was still coaching, doing some virtual coaching with kids. And one specific kid likes to go in the mornings, right? So he's on Eastern time, kicking at 7 a.m. Well, guess what time that is for me in Alaska? That's 3 a.m. So I would do it though. I would, would be busy fishing all day, really, really energetic, being, very, very busy during the day, doing a lot of activities, go to bed probably like midnight because it's still light up there. It doesn't only gets dark like for an hour and a half. And it doesn't really get dark at all. Around maybe like 4 o'clock in the morning is when the sun, well, maybe a little earlier, maybe 2 or 3, it'll set a little bit and then it'll rise pretty quickly after that. So that was that. But anyways, my point is, I feel with all the activities that I did with all the hiking and then the fishing, yes, you're using muscles when you fish, that, I got at least some movement going on. I wanted to do a little bit more, but I didn't. I always bring workout clothes to places when I go visit and have a little bit of vacation time. I'm not always the best. I'll be truthful and transparent with you. I'm not always the best at working out. But my diet, again, that's another thing. You're kind of at the mercy of what you have at hand. Especially if you're camping, you kind of have to get more simplified foods, which is kind of tough to do sometimes. However, we ate a lot of fish. So I was very thankful for that because we caught some natural fish there and we're able to eat them. So, I will talk about that after a quick word of from our sponsor. I'm going to talk a little bit about just how to maintain that. How about staying hydrated? So we're going to talk about your physical activity, your diet, and what you can do on these trips. And I'm going to focus a lot more on the hydration part. And I've got a new product I want to talk about as well. So we'll talk about that here in a minute after a word from our sponsor.
At 3, we want to give you the true health benefits that you're paying for, something you can feel and see a difference quickly. Each product is packed with powerful plant-based nutrients that are combined through a proprietary curation process and then infused with innovative cellular absorption technologies to ensure the nutrients absorb into the cells for maximum wellness. The quality and effectiveness of our life-changing products is evident by their approval to be included in the well-known Prescriber's Digital Reference, or PDR. The PDR has been a valuable resource to the medical doctors and providers in the healthcare community for decades. Our products are GMO-free, clinically studied, and third-party tested, all designed to support health and proactive wellness for everyone.
And welcome back. Like I mentioned, we're going to talk a little bit about their diet and exercise during vacation, and also hydrating during that time as well. Actually, hydrating during any time of your normal everyday routine. I think that people do not drink as much fluid as they should, and you would be surprised at how well you feel. Now, I think people, and I did too, when I first started, trying to drink a lot of water on a daily basis, and maybe I went a little overboard at first, but that was kind of my mentality. Is I'm gonna get on this hydration trail, and I'm going to really make sure that I stay hydrated. And I noticed that, of course, I was going to the bathroom a lot, but much like things that I say a lot on these episodes, as far as diet and exercise, you've got the hump. You get up to a certain position, and you'll be able to level off. And getting up to that difficult level situation, as far as that hump, like when you're doing exercise, you're getting like you're doing, you feel like you're wearing yourself out. You're working really, really hard. You're not seeing those results. That's for the first week or two or three or whatever the case may be. Everyone's a little different. But once you get over that hump, you'll start to see more results from that. Same thing with the diet. You're not going to see, you're not going to drop a lot of weight and see a difference really until your second or third week if you're pretty consistent with your diet. Same thing with hydration. That's what I've noticed personally, is that, to get over that hump of going to the bathroom all the time, you just got to get enough fluids in your body, get your body trained that it's training itself to absorb a lot of that fluid. And here in Florida, of course, you're going to be sweating a lot anyway. So I know I drink more water in the summertime, but it's very, very important to stay hydrated no matter where you are. And one thing I learned in the NFL, and it was hard to do. It was hard in the wintertime to drink a lot of fluid because you're not thirsty. Your body's telling you, it's giving you the indication that you're not thirsty. But you kind of are, if you wait till here's a rule of thumb, if you can think about this part, if you wait till the moment you're thirsty, you have waited too long. The reason you're thirsty is because you're dehydrated. Okay. So keep that in mind. So if you ever find yourself thirsty for water, you've already gone too far where you haven't drank enough water, and, to the point where you're ideally hydrated. So keep that in mind as well. But, fitness stuff, while you're on vacation, I'm a huge fan of body weight exercises. I'm telling you, now again, I think I've kind of, I've been given the gift of, it doesn't take me long to form muscles. If I take some time off and don't lift or don't do workouts, when I work out for the first week or so after taking some time off, it's hard, but I quickly regain my muscle strength back. So I'm a little bit fortunate that way, but I'm always active. So I don't know if that has a little bit to do with it. I'm sure it does. But just know that, your body weight is good. Now you're going to probably clearly, because your body weight weighs less than something that weighted vest or, a squat rack or something, a squat bar that you're doing. Obviously your body weight is less, but you probably end up doing more reps on anything that you're doing. Squats. I do squats in between my boxing rounds. So if I go to title boxing, I'm doing a 1 minute rounds for 8 separate rounds. Every active rest, it's basically a minute between each round. I'm squatting for a good 35, 40 seconds of that minute. I'm just doing squats. I try to get at least 30 squats in every active rest between each round. Now that's body weight. Okay. So I'm doing stuff that I'm just natural. And again, things start to feel better, even doing body weight stuff. And I know I've seen ads and things like that on social media where these guys, and then they're ripped, of course, and they're going through this quick abbreviated, all full body workout. And it's intense, burpees. I mean, I don't know how many people on here like burpees. Burpees are very difficult to do. But you do enough of them, you're going to get a heck of a workout. So don't ever think that you have to go see a gym. Because again, Alaska, I promise you, I didn't see a gym. I don't even know if I saw a gym. When I say see a gym, I'm really referring to actually going to a gym, but I don't even think I saw a gym. I couldn't tell you, but my point is you have to do a lot of things. You improvise, you adapt to the environment that you're involved in. But now, yeah, obviously, another thing too to think about is when you're changing up. Maybe you're a lifter, maybe you're a weight room guy, or maybe you're more of an endurance guy. But when you go, yes, you can do some endurance, you can do some jogging, things like that when you're on vacation. I understand that. Now in Alaska, you're going to do a lot of up and down hills, so you're going to get a heck of a lot more of a workout probably if you're used to someone like me that's on flat land here in Florida. But my point is, you're going to even if you change up your routine on vacation, you're giving yourself your body a break from the stuff that you've been doing for weeks and maybe even months, and obviously that whole concept of switching up the workout to kind of tease your body into something else. It kind of shocks your body into a different type of workout. You get into that hole and that steadiness of a workout, you're not really gaining much. And so that's why you have to kind of trick your body, go into a different type of workout, change it up a little bit, and your body will kind of recognize that and say, whoa. And then you bounce back and forth through different types of workouts at different times of the year. I've always found that's very good. I mean, I do boxing, and then I also do F45, and that's more like body weights and body weight stuff, plus dumbbells and things like that. So you lifting some weight, but in more of a circuit training type of mentality and attitude. So exercise, yes, go over. Nutrition, of course, you're kind of restricted a little bit, but obviously getting non-processed foods in the grocery stores is your best bet, of course, and just getting foods that are simple, easy, don't spoil. But again, the processed foods don't spoil because they put a bunch of chemicals in them to keep their shelf life up, and that's not good, right? So you want to, obviously try to maintain a good nutritious diet as close as you could as you were on a daily basis. But also think about this. You've got the exercise and things like that you're doing on a daily basis. You have maybe limited opportunities. Again, I'm just referring to me being in Alaska. We're in a motorhome. There's not a lot of people, not a lot of places to stop. And of course, if you're out in the middle of nowhere and you have to camp, of course, you're just eating what you got in your fridge. But it's just a matter of making good decisions. And the other thing too is like you're forced to eat what you got. So if you ever the concept of going to the grocery store hungry, don't ever do it, because if you go to the grocery store hungry, you're going to buy things that you probably wouldn't if you had a meal before you went to the grocery store, because it didn't look appealing to you at that time, So there's a lot of mental sides to that too. So when you're camping, you go to the grocery store, you got to get limited amount and kind of stuff that's not going to take up a lot of room, but also hopefully healthy for you. And then when you're out there, you're kind of limited to the only thing that you got is what you bought. So, but the hydration is incredibly important. One product I wanted to talk about, that company 3 International that I'm with. We announced a couple weeks ago at a convention that we have a new energy drink that's out. It's called Kinetic. It's clean energy. This is a product. Oh, that's not going to work. This is a product here that is all plant based. Okay, so it's got natural flavors, natural coloring's natural. There's no taurines, sucrose, any of those bad chemically kind of low aspartame, none of that's in there. It's all natural. And it comes in a little pouch like this. All you do is rip it, pour into 8 to 10 ounces of water, and shake it up and drink it. It's a cherry flavor, very, very good tasting. You could add some lime juice to it, makes like a cherry limeade. Super cool opportunity there. But one of the best things that I experienced about this product was its effect on my motivation, my brain, my clarity. And when you hear some information about it, if you want, you can definitely go to zealouswellness.com and look at the information on the 3 International page there. There's a quick video, but obviously if you want more, you could submit some information on the contact form on the page there. And I'll get that information and respond back to you. But I can promise you and tell you honestly that, you don't get the jitters. It's got a bunch of vitamin B's in there as well, but you don't get that jittery feeling where you're feeling really hyped for a while and then you get that crash. This is a more level, sustainable. And I'm telling you, for me, I think it's very energetic to have a motivated brain. In other words, so I was trying to describe this and think about a way I can and make you understand or kind of give you an idea of what I'm talking about, analogy. It's like you've had that one day where you had a bunch of things on your list. You're like, man, this is going to be challenging to get all these things done, but I'm going to just go for it. and you make that decision to just go for it, get all those things done, at the end of the day, you feel like you actually have, I do at least, I've had energy. Yes, my brain might be a little bit worn out from all the thinking and moving I did and all that, but I do feel I'm not tired until later at night. Then I sleep like a baby. That's another good thing about being busy like that, of course, because it's mentally, draining and also physically draining. But that the feeling that you have when you finish something that you've maybe put off for a while, I'm like, man, I'm so glad I did that. That's kind of the motivation I get immediately when I start drinking this stuff. It's just amazing. It's not like, yes, I feel some energy. I get a little bit of energy boost from it, but I think more importantly, and this is just for me, it's my opinion. It's more important for me. The feeling that I get from this is it's like and I can't think of any other word other than motivation. It just instantly gives me this motivation to get in and get some work done. You see what I'm saying? So it's not like the energy, like, oh, I want to burn a bunch of energy because I feel energetic. It's not that. It's the mental side of it. And I think, when you hear information about this, Dr. Dan Gubler, our chief scientific officer, talks a lot about the brain part of this and why this is so good for clarity and motivation and mood. And it's almost like a dopamine drop. It really is. It's like, wow, I feel really amazing. I feel good. I feel sharp. The other day I went out and I was coaching a bunch of kids over the weekend, and I had 3 Cornell University kickers, a couple hours each day, Saturday and Sunday. And it was so hot in Jacksonville. I don't know if anybody else here in Jacksonville, but it was incredibly hot, right? And plus I'm on turf fields that make it even hotter. But anyways, a bunch of those guys. Then yesterday on Sunday, I went from a high school with the turf field, then went over to Edward Waters University, worked with one of my female kickers, Shelby, who kicks for Edward Waters University. And right before I started working out with Shelby, I took one of these energy because I felt a little sluggish. I'm like, yeah, I was just on this field for 2 hours. I'm hot, been sweating, been drinking water, but I sucked down one of these. I can tell you instantly, I was like motivated to let's go, Shelby, let's get these things done. I wanted to help her even more than I typically would do. I mean, I'm not saying that's in all fairness. I treat every kicker the same for the most part, but I just wanted just extra stuff. I wanted her to really get this stuff down, and it really motivated me to see a good ball that she kicked, and she had a good day. So I was like, man, what an awesome day. And again, it's kind of a happy, motivating feeling. And it's all natural. That's the other thing too, is you're not going to have all those chemically derived, items in the drinks themselves. You're not going to be all jittery and all that. So it's actually the boost comes from green tea extract. It's natural. It's better to absorb. It's more of a natural form of caffeine. When you think of drinking coffee and all that, you understand that those coffee beans are kind of processed. There's a lot of things that go into coffee beans. When you think about green tea extract, I don't think it's I think it's more natural of a process to get that caffeine in there as well. So, one of the coolest things about, our company 3 is now we have 11 products, and 7 of those 11 are actually in the PDR. I don't know if there's any reason why this Kinetic would be in the PDR. It's a simple energy drink, but it is. I don't want to say simple. It's a lot more than just that. But I don't think it's medicinal, in other words. So our 6 proactive wellness products, and then our one of our skincare, one of the 4 skincare products is actually in the PDRs, which is really, really cool. I think when doctors see that, they understand that it's actually a very significant product. It's actually labeled as medicinal, even though it's a nutraceutical. It's not a pharmaceutical. We're all plant-based, all natural. And we're healing the body from the inside out. And I'm telling you, it's a big difference. Plus the fact we have the cellular absorption delivery technologies. I know there's a couple in this drink as well. But with regards to just having great quality products, but also pushing the molecules into the cells of our body because of the 12 technologies that we use. No other company in the world can do what we're doing. 10 of those 12 cellular absorption delivery technologies are exclusive to our company. Because of our patents on them, Dan Gubler's patents on them. So I'm a huge fan. Again, going back to the whole travel thing, supplementation during these times is critical as well. I supplement every day. I've been taking these 3 proactive wellness products every single day since March 30th of 2024. Okay, so I've not missed a day of these. Now, I don't take the energy drink every single day, even though there's a month worth in each box, of course. But one of the things that, supplementation when you're on vacation, of course, is imperative. And again, I know people get busy and we get distracted and, we're trying to go from this place to this place and people are making plans and sometimes you forget. I know. And that's the thing is like the routine is what you want to stick with. And again, being consistent with things that you do. And I'm telling you from personal experience, because I've lived the other side of it too, being inconsistent with working out. Guess what happened? I got fat, and that's the honest God truth. I got fat, and I got my back started hurting more. I'm like, I don't want either one of those. So I got to get back in a routine. And in all honesty, it is a lifestyle change, but you have to even commit to those times when you're not in your normal realm, when you're not, in your normal everyday life. You've got your normal schedules typically, but then when you get off those normal schedules, you still want to do the best you can. Now, again, I'm not saying that I'm perfect by any means at all, but I try my best. And I'm going to be very transparent with everybody here. I'm not a professional in fitness, nutrition, all that. I'm just someone who knows a little bit about it. And I'm giving you some advice on what I've experienced in my past. And another thing too, is I've experienced a lot of products being in the NFL, and now I'm older and I'm wanting to stay young. So I'm really, really, really focusing on finding the right company, the right products to take. And I know that supplementation is a very important aspect to, longevity and proactive wellness and keeping you healthy and keeping you away from, healthcare. I was talking to someone the other day about how much money, again, there's no scientific way of figuring this out, but it's kind of an estimation. In my opinion, I've heard it not just from me, but others. It's a lot cheaper in the long run for people to maintain their health with good, natural, good products. I'm not saying 3 is the answer. I'm just saying that, natural, good products that aren't processed, that aren't pharmaceuticals, really. If you're able to keep your body healed, and again, we go back even before pharmaceuticals were a thing. We were healing the body with plant material. The remedies, I'm saying that 3 has now gotten back into the remedy market. I want the remedy market to come back alive again, because we're used to taking all these pills that cause side effects for, from that pill, you got to take this pill. And it's just a never ending thing. Again, think about that. It's a never ending, money grabbing cycle for the rich, for the big pharma industry. Okay. So again, going back to my point, there's no money in healthy people for them. Okay. You got to break outside the box and stop being involved in that kind of healthcare. They want you to be sick so that they can, take your money later on down the road when you really have to pay a lot of money for maybe a surgery that could have been avoided if you just ate better. There's a lot of reasons and things that I can think of that people have health issues. Diet Coke, my gosh, if you guys are drinking any sort of soda on a regular basis, you got to stop now. It's, these companies, oh, it's not that bad. We've had this other sugar that we don't use, cane sugar. Now, Coca-Cola, I think Donald Trump actually requested that Coca-Cola switch back to the cane, because they do that in other countries too. And why not in the United States? Because it's cheaper to use other synthetic sugars than cane sugar. Right now, is cane sugar better for you? I mean, it's probably better for you, but sugar in general is not good. So again, whether you're drinking the nice natural Coca-Cola now, or when they come back out with it or not, but my point is, if you're drinking that kind of stuff, you're really still creating a lot of problems in your body. Your body is I started reading something today or hearing a video talking about when sugar's consumed, it immediately goes into your bone marrow and it limits within 45 minutes, it's already started to inhibit bone density and growth. Okay. So, there's just multiple issues with sugar. And so ultimately what I'm really referring to is trying to, eat healthy, especially when you're out on vacation and trying to, be, splurge a little bit. Yeah. There's times when I splurge where you kind of have some ice cream here and there, but there's some healthy alternatives out there. Honestly. So I think I try to go to those, but again, I'm not the perfect person ever. So there are times when I don't eat that great, but my point is really that, try your best and be consistent. I can go back to me being a kicker. I mean, every day it seemed kind of repetitive and redundant, but I loved it. I enjoyed it. It was my job, but you can refer that to your fitness journey, your health, your diet journey, your hydration journey. That's the other thing I forgot to even mention. Even I'm kind of silly to even think about that, but the Kinetic I just showed you, our new energy drink is actually more of a hydrating drink as well. It's got magnesium and potassium and sodium in it as well, but it also is very hydrating. So you're kind of getting a mix of a lot of different values in the fluids that you're drinking in just this one drink. And so it's another very, very cool opportunity to kind of experience what else is out there other than just your natural stuff. And again, I've seen videos on what's in. You go, they show a picture of, they open up the grocery store or refrigerator door, and you see Red Bull, you see Monster, you see all these energy drinks all the way down there. And you look at how much taurine's in a lot of those and all these other chemicals, especially like Monster is really bad for you. There's people I've heard of, even in Jacksonville, that high school girl, apparently this is probably like 5 or 6 years ago, that goes to a very expensive school called Bowls, but she was drinking Red Bulls like they were water. Like every drink she had was a Red Bull. Well, unfortunately, she had, I think, a heart attack and had some heart problems, had a heart attack, and she's no longer with us. And they're kind of labeling it back to how much Red Bull she had consumed over that time. So I know that stuff is horrible for you. So this Kinetic is definitely a way better alternative. And plus, I can't emphasize enough the whole mood change. It's really a very, very motivating energy drink. I love it. Of course, and it's hydrating as well. So keep that in mind. Again, hit zealouswellness.com for information on those, plus those other proactive wellness products. Plus, Premier Life is another company I'm working with that deals with bio-optimized therapy treatments with regards to your blood work. We have the BCP 157. We've got that as well. People are raving about that as far as joint health and pain relief. The GLP-1 shots, we do those as well. The NAD+, the Samorelin, hormone therapies, IV drips, all kinds of stuff that have been kind of in the craze right now. And we've been doing this for 15 years. And I just joined this company that's very reputable called Premier Life. We're actually branding a new website, so it's almost done. That will be out very, very soon. But with that said, I hope you guys understand just the consistency and just trying to maintain a normal lifestyle. And anytime you break that consistency when you're going on vacation, whether it's your diet, your exercise, or your hydration, or your sleep even, which was another one that I kind of deprived myself. I was telling you, I've multiple times I had to get up early to coach Alex, but then I go back to sleep. But I'm not like that. I'm not a good person to get up in the middle of the night, go back to sleep. I don't like doing that. But anyways, it had to happen, and sometimes you have to adjust. But for the most part, just understand that your idea is to stay as consistent as possible, just like an NFL kicker would. It might feel redundant and kind of maybe boring after a while, but you can clearly change them up a little bit. But with regards to just being as healthy as possible, just maintain that discipline. That's a huge deal there. Only the most disciplined type of people will be able to maintain their good fitness and health, proactive wellness journeys, whether it's the hydration, the food, and the exercise. But be good. Hope you guys have a great week. I'm going to be gone again in a couple weeks out to Vietnam. I'll give you more information next time. But that's another trip that I earned from the company 3 International. Getting more people involved in the company that feel better about themselves because of these products they're taking. And of course, the company is rewarding me for that by sending me to Vietnam for a 6-day deal, but I'm going to be out there for almost 3 weeks, or actually around 3 weeks. So I'll be gone a little while, but I'll definitely give you guys more information next week about that. And hopefully you guys have a great Monday night, and we'll definitely see you guys next Monday night at 5:30 Eastern on Zealous Wellness with Mike Hollis. Have a good night.
Thank you for watching Zealous Wellness with Mike Hollis. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. See you next time.